Mohan, a kind farmer with a warm smile and a heart as big as the sky, lived in a small village nestled amongst rolling hills. He wore a crisp white kurta and loose pajama. His days were filled with the rhythm of the land, the gentle turning of the soil, the careful planting of seeds, and the hopeful watching of his crops grow. His greatest joy was his son, Madhav, a bright-eyed boy with a mischievous grin. One year the rains failed. The sky remained a relentless, unforgiving blue. The earth cracked open, revealing thirsty, parched soil. Mohan's crops withered, the leaves curling and browning under the relentless sun. A terrible drought gripped the village, and fear settled in the hearts of everyone. Mohan, a man of deep faith, knew where to turn. He carefully wrote a letter, his calloused fingers tracing the words on worn paper. He poured his heart into it, a heartfelt plea for rain, a prayer to God for mercy and sustenance. He folded the letter, tucked it into a small, worn envelope, and tied it securely with a piece of string. He planned to take the letter to the village temple, leaving it at the feet of the deity. But Madhav, eager to help, insisted on carrying the precious envelope. On their way, Madhav, distracted by a playful butterfly, tripped near a babbling stream. The envelope slipped from his grasp and floated away, carried downstream by the swift current. Madhav's heart sank. Tears welled in his eyes as he watched the precious letter disappear. He was terrified to tell his father. He knew how much Mohan had hoped for rain, how much his faith rested on this letter. That night, Madhav lay awake, consumed by guilt and worry. He knew he had failed his father, failed his faith. He imagined the disappointment on his father's face, the despair that would surely follow. The next morning, the sun rose, but it was different. A soft breeze stirred the air, carrying with it the promise of something wonderful. And then the sky opened up, not with a furious downpour, but with a gentle, life-giving rain. The drops fell softly on the parched earth, soaking into the thirsty soil. Mohan, overjoyed, watched the rain fall, tears of relief streaming down his face. His crops, seemingly beyond saving, began to revive. The drought was over. God had answered his prayer. Later that day, Madhav, his heart heavy with guilt, confessed to his father about losing the letter. He braced himself for anger, for disappointment. But Mohan, his eyes filled with understanding, simply smiled. "Madhav," he said gently, "God hears our prayers, even without a letter. He sees our hearts, our faith, our need. The rain wasn't just for our crops. It was a reminder that God's love is always with us, even when we make mistakes." Madhav felt a wave of relief wash over him. He had expected punishment, but instead he received forgiveness and a deeper understanding of faith. He realized that faith wasn't about a letter or a ritual, but about a connection with God, a trust in his plan, even when things seemed impossible. From that day on, Madhav worked alongside his father, his faith strengthened, his heart filled with gratitude. He learned that even when things go wrong, even when mistakes are made, God's love and guidance remain constant. He saw the unwavering faith of his father, a faith that had brought them through the darkest of times, and his own faith blossomed, rooted deep in the fertile soil of his heart. He understood that true faith wasn't about perfect actions, but about a trusting heart. And that, he knew, was a gift more precious than any rain.